Hey, what is up, lovelies? It's Lynn the Gacha Goblin, and let's talk about Zane. Specifically, the branch story that was just released, because holy cow, do I have some opinions. I mean, you're not surprised, are you? If you haven't read through it yet, please go read Zane's branch story before hopping back to this video because massive spoilers ahead. Now, my overall opinion, I enjoyed the direction of the story. I definitely feel like we got more information and a more immersive experience into Zane's dreams. And I also appreciate that we had some lore points confirmed. But lovelies, I am so heartbroken, and it's not in the way that I was expecting to be heartbroken. Because holy crap, I wasn't expecting a plethora of chapters. Heck, I wasn't even expecting 3 or 2 like Silas is, but wow, this branch story is kind of a disappointment. And I don't want to sound like a Debbie Downer, but we have to address the elephant in the room. We can all agree that the execution was very lackluster compared to what we had gotten from Silas's story. There were just so many missed opportunities to have cutscenes, like the kindled kind, and intense ones at that, and yet nothing. We basically fade to black during intermissions where action and suspense could have been built up, especially the scene right before we end up in the double-layered proto-field. And it's like, what the heck is Infold thinking? Is it because we're not paying for these branch stories that we don't get high-def, Kindle-like moments? How can you release your main story without maintaining the quality from long-awaited Revelry? It feels like during the 6 months since launch, the team only focused on Silas, and now they're rushing to produce the branch stories. I thought this game was on the rise after Silas was introduced with its superb introduction and character, and all of the fully animated scenes that we had along with his introduction. But Infold really under-delivered here. It pains me to see that the branch story is presented in such a way, because now this is just setting the bar of what the other branch stories are going to be like. And what's more annoying is the fact that I enjoyed the story, just not the presentation. I can't say that the story was peak in Love and Deepspace in terms of its lore, but I'm happy that we had some key points confirmed to us. Now I just want to go over the key points here, so that way we have like a little roadmap of what was discussed in the branch story for Zane. So what I have here is, Xander Sciences has been experimenting with prolonging life, even to the extent of implementing Lemurian biology into their experiments. But now we find out that they are now placing protocores into patients. However, it looks like this only started after they were acquired by Ever after Raymond's death. With the more advanced technology, no one was going to stop them from progressing their experiments. And experiments on people, which is horrible. Next point that I have here. Protocores used in these experiments have beta protocore waves. Protocurve waves. Protocore waves? You know, honestly, it's kind of confusing, the terminology. Okay, so this caused the patient to get lost in their dreams and kind of be tormented by the Mist Wanderer. So protofields created by these wanderers have beta protocurves, which alter the space with spatial manipulation. And another interesting side effect of the new protocurve is that they can cause those with the protocore syndrome to collapse. And you would think that the MC would hear this and think, oh, I should stay away from beta protocurve waves. And no, she doesn't do that. She immediately like volunteers herself. Yeah, can I go to Chud's? Yeah, I want to be with Zane. It's just funny to me. Like she doesn't even have like I get it. She wants to be with Zane and also investigate into what's happening, but she has like no self-preservation. She didn't even think like, oh, is there something that I can do to protect myself from these beta protocurves or whatever, she was immediately like, "Oh, let me go, let me go." So because of this, the MC collapses, of course, and Zane absorbs something. Now, I'm thinking that it's the beta waves which cause him to lose control of his evil, but somehow he can stabilize the MC using his evil at the cost of endangering himself. Like, these two are a pair made in heaven because they're both, they don't think of the dangers that they put themselves in. So, you know what? Match made in heaven right there. This was actually the most surprising thing in the story so far for me, because I never once thought that it was Zane like sacrificing something to keep the MC alive and pumping, I guess. So it's very interesting. I definitely enjoyed that little tidbit. Does it fully make sense right now? Not really. But we have to explore this idea some more, and I'm pretty sure more lore videos are gonna come out, or lore in general is gonna come out on the internet for this. We are all very much detectives. Okay, so the next point that I have here is we also get confirmation that Ever intentionally caused a scene at Shanxia Hospital by installing a device that sends out frequencies that attract wanderers. And this lets us come to the conclusion that Ever is creating monsters. Now, this leaves me with a few questions. We know from Zane's third anecdote that Dawnbreaker's world and society is starting to collapse with all the wanderer appearances. And we know that it's people turning into wanderers because of the mutations. These mutations have something to do with protocores. We know that the protocores can turn humans into wanderers from Xavier's lore. There is a part in Xavier's lore, if you haven't read it yet, where his royal family was sending like sacrifices into the forest, and the forest had a protocore that was trying to take their lives and turn them into wanderers, using those like the life force energy to keep the protocore that's keeping Philos together. So that is part of Xavier's lore there, and we learned that, so we already know this. So then that means that Xander Sciences, okay, was only ever involved with researching and exploiting Lemurian technology in the past before ever getting bought by Ever. And because of this, Raphael, who's seeking revenge for his people, inadvertently killed Raymond with the painting that Raymond bought. Remember, he got kind of crazy in like the first few chapters of the main story. But because Raymond died and his fascination with Lemurians as well vanished, Xander Sciences had its doors open to using protocores in biotech. Now, if you look on the what do you call that thing? Like the My Notes section, you can see that Ever specializes in biotech and aerospace something something. So this is something that Ever specializes in. So I'm just thinking to myself, doesn't that mean that Raphael kind of caused the chain of events? Like Raphael girlies, please don't hate me, but don't you think that your mans is the cause of the events to come? With all of the things that are happening with the Wanderers and humans turning into Wanderers? And like, it's like they're purposefully creating these monsters, and that's just assuming that Ever can control their experiments. But if not, then the world in which Dawnbreaker is from doesn't seem so far away. It's like the two timelines or two dimensions, or however you want to phrase it, might merge into one kind of thing. And also, do you think that this is the first step to the downfall of Earth and the creation of Philos? Because if the world becomes destroyed because of all of the wanderers around, then wouldn't that lead to the destruction of society itself, maybe even the world? And then it was just, it's kind of crazy. It's just thinking about it. So that, to be perfectly honest, this feels all too perfectly placed together. Like these events are being orchestrated by somebody who knows what the final outcome is, or that fate is somehow pulling the strings here, and it's nearly impossible to change the course of events. But that's probably what the MC is really fighting against in this story. Fate. Her fate of not being with the one that she loves the most, because of all of the other circumstances around her. And the one she loves the most is whoever Li that you choose, really. But, I mean, yeah, these are just my ramblings. I wish the branch story was presented better. Much longer, I think, would have been better. Like, actually having a fully fleshed out, maybe 2 chapters. That would have been nice, with some cutscenes as well. Very much like how Silas was presented. Man, this is what I've been saying. Since the branch stories were released, I was just hoping that they were going to release it at the same quality as Silas's long-awaited Revelry, But yeah, fans of this game have been waiting for updates, and now we're just being breadcrumbed information that was basically hinted months ago in the anecdotes and whatnot. So that is pretty much my reaction and my thoughts on the branch story. It's interesting to see how they presented it, I guess, like the story itself, but the presentation definitely lackluster. They could have done something way better with that. And I know a lot of lovelies out there are kind of disappointed with how this one turned out, and they're now not looking forward to their favorites coming out down the line. So that is pretty much it. Oh, and I definitely enjoyed hearing Silas's voice in like the first chapter. That was really funny. I was like, oh my god, is Silas gonna pop up? Are we gonna deal with him in front of Zane? But no. Yeah, I mean, it was overall fun to read through everything, and I enjoyed it. I just wish that the presentation was better. That's just my 2 cents. But what do you lovelies think about the branch stories, and what do you hope for the next set of branch stories? I think is it Raphael next? I think it's Raphael next, right? So yeah, let me know what you think down below in the comments, and that is pretty much it. If you want to subscribe to this channel and stay updated on all things Love and Deepspace and other gacha games, hit that subscribe button. And thank you so much for watching. I am Lynn the Gacha Goblin, and I will see you lovelies in the next video. Bye now!